From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, PDP presidential candidate woos Abuja indigents, pledges to address their issues if elected. Wife of APC presidential candidate takes campaign to Maiduguri. Fuel scarcity lingers in Kaduna as DSS ultimatum ends. And in sports news, Morocco edged out Portugal in World Cup, set African record. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. Here's the news in details. Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has pledged to address issues affecting indigenous residents of the Federal Capital Territory if elected president in 2023. Atiku Abubakar, who spoke during his party's presidential campaign rally, which held at the Eagle Square in Abuja, says he will initiate a constitutional review aimed at addressing challenges in the FCT as well as other sectors such as education, security and business. Sagir Ibrahim reports.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party during the campaign rally stated that he is not oblivious of some of the challenges faced by residents in the Federal Capital Territory. He, however, promised that if given the opportunity to serve, every part of the country will be included and given a sense of belonging.
What you have demanded, which requires constitutional review, we assure you we will support that review to make sure your aspirations are protected or are guaranteed in our new constitution. Every part of this country will be given a sense of belonging. No part will be sidelined, no part will be marginalized. We are pledged to restore security. It is very, very essential that we give everybody a peace. A farmer, peace to go to the farm. A trader, peace to ply the runway, the highway, go and sell his goods. Peace for everybody. Today, we have the highest number of out-of-school children. We will make sure that these children go back to school.
Others who spoke during the campaign explained that his experience as a former vice president makes him the most qualified among his co-contenders.
Atiku Abubakar has the experience of governance at the national level, at the federal level. He is very familiar with the issues of the FCT and its people. I'm sure he will address all of that when he comes on stage.
Are working together with the youths and the women of this country and our elders, we can collectively steer the ship of governance in such a way that it will be well with each and every one of us. The poverty that we see today, in the next 4 years, starting from 2023, May 29, it will no longer be so.
We don't want an experimental president. We don't want a president who will come and deceive you, who will not know what to do. You know that we woke up one day here in Abuja and we were threatened that the whole of Abuja is going to be attacked. Insecurity is affecting everybody. Many of you here all over the country, you can't travel to your home state because the roads are blocked by bandits.
They, however, called on Nigerians to come out in their numbers in 2023 to vote out the current APC administration, which they claim has not fulfilled its promises to Nigerians. Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Wife of the APC presidential candidate Oluremi Tinubu has promised to support girl-child education, create jobs and empower women for greater productivity. She disclosed this during the flag-off rally of the Presidential Women Campaign Team at the El-Kanami Sports Center in Maiduguri. She and other women leaders of the party enjoined party faithful to vote for the Tinubu Kashim ticket. Senator Oluremi Tinubu said if the APC retains power, issues around girl-child education, youth employment and empowerment for the women in the Northeast will be addressed.
I assure you, I promise you that we will be there. I'm not a businesswoman, but when it comes to charity work, you can really count on me. And at the same time, Aja Nana Shetima, she's into a lot of charity work. So we can assure the youth that youth and employment will be something that will be at the front burner of the Tinubu Shetima administration.
They have given our own Northeast the vice presidential candidate. In fact, from our own dear Borno. When Kashim Shettima was a governor, he brought progress and development. With his support, he handed over to the present governor. So therefore, we should show our gratitude by voting our own into power to continue these giant strides.
Northwest support groups for the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu say that they are poised to ensure massive mobilization for the party to ensure victory in 2023. The groups gave the indication while speaking to journalists after a closed-door session with zonal leadership of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Trust TV's Bello Musa reports.
Speaking shortly after the closed-door session, Deputy Coordinator Northwest APC Presidential Campaign Council Salihu Lukman says the party is set to surpass its previous record of mobilization, just as he dismissed perceived threat that could undermine the party's chances ahead of the election.
Beyond speculation, we are on ground in Northwest. If you go to Kano, you will discover that Kano citizens are not dealing with individuals, they deal with political institutions. NNPP is yet to be a political institution.
Spokesperson Northwest for the APC Presidential Campaign Council Mohammed Shehu Molash says the party will demonstrate its strength at the rally as the biggest voting bloc of the APC in Nigeria.
Just an affirmation. This is the house of APC in the country. This is the stronghold of the APC in the country. This is where APC was incubated. This is where APC is firmly rooted. So therefore, what will happen on the 13th is just an affirmation that we are the strongest of all the APC bloc in Nigeria.
Leaders of some of the support group marshal out their plans for the mobilization.
Today's meeting is a serious business, is to mobilize for the 13th rally.
APC has been on ground in the Northwest and Kaduna State in particular. So we are going to unleash it.
The issue about Muslim same-faith tickets. I mean, religion, we have been praying, right? It's only competency that solve economic situations. It's only competency that solves security situations.
The APC zonal presidential rally is scheduled to hold Tuesday next week. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Utterances of the Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika suggesting that APC will deploy money to 2023 governorship election in Katsina is generating reactions from residents. Sirika was speaking at a fundraising dinner organized for the Katsina State APC governorship candidate Dikko Radda in Abuja recently. Abdullahi Yamari has details of the report.
Video of the minister making the comment has gone viral. In fact, we all know no one can defeat Masari in Kafur. No one can think of defeating Abu Ibrahim in Musawa or defeat me in Dutsi local government. Look, we have money and resources to win any kind of election. And I swear to God, we have money and will use money. So let no one think of beating our party. The minister's comment generated a lot of reactions from residents, with some saying such a remark is encouraging vote buying and a threat to credible and fair election.
It is very, very, very unfortunate. The Minister of Aviation should remember that he was into that position through General Muhammad Buhari, who was, the masses of Nigeria did not elect him because of money. They elected him in 2015 because, they have a confidence in him. And now somebody who is a minister in that administration telling people of Kaduna State that they have the resources, they have the money to be able to win election is very unfortunate.
I don't think the electorate are so dumb to just sell their votes. Majority of them, they are not ready actually because of the conditions in the country, the issue, so many issues, economic issue of insecurity and what have you, will not make our people to be so dull to sell their vote. You understand? So even the minister is fully aware of this fact.
However, some political observers opined that the minister's comment is an indication that the 2023 election may be difficult to win, even for the ruling party, because voters are becoming more sophisticated, prompting his suggestion to monetary inducement.
He's looking at the political landscape in the country, that the only weapon a politician may likely to have to win an election is for him buying individual votes. And that is exactly what he is saying. Naturally, if it is a country where things are going normal, he would have been arrested.
Though 18 political parties are contesting the governorship election in Katsina State, the fight is more intense between the ruling APC and the opposition PDP and the emerging NNPP, Labour Party, PRP, among others. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has tasked newly recruited soldiers to brace up for the 2023 general elections, as they will be fully utilized to enhance security of the nation's electoral process. He disclosed this at the passing out parade of the 83 regular recruit intake held at Chindit's Barrack Cantonment in Zaria. Lieutenant General Yahya said that 6,226 recruited soldiers will be posted to various theaters of operations to tame persistent insecurity bedeviling some parts of the country, while others will participate in the 2023 general elections. The Chief of Army Staff, however, tasked the passing out recruits to remain apolitical in their dealings as 2023 elections approaches. He therefore urged the new soldiers to maintain high standard of discipline, professionalism, and code of ethics while remaining good ambassadors of Depot Nigerian Army and the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Now, the Supreme Court on Friday affirmed Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umahi as the authentic candidate of the All Progressives Congress (APC) for the Ebonyi South Senatorial District election. In a unanimous decision, a 5-man panel led by Justice Kudirat Ekerere Eku dismissed an appeal filed by an aggrieved aspirant for the senatorial seat, Princess Anne Agomeze. The panel held that the appeal lacked merit and ought to be dismissed. Agomeze had approached the court to set aside the concurrent judgments of both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which upheld the outcome of the primary election that produced Governor Umahi. Agomeze had emerged second in the initial senatorial primary the APC held on May 28, which was won by Austin Umahi, the younger brother of Governor Umahi, who later voluntarily relinquished the ticket to the governor after he failed to clinch the APC presidential ticket. The police in Zamfara State have said its tactical operatives repelled terrorist attacks, arrested 10 suspected terrorists and recovered 2 AK-47 rifles. According to the police, they also recovered 2 magazines, 104 rounds of live ammunition and large quantity of dry leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. The Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer Muhammad Shehu said its tactical operatives foiled terrorist attacks in Zurmi and Shinkafi local government areas of the state after engaging them in a gun duel that lasted 4 hours. The report.
The Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer Muhammad Shehu said
Its tactical operatives foiled terrorist attacks in Zurmi and Shinkafi local government areas of Zamfara state after engaging them in a gun duel that lasted for hours. Shehu said the suspected terrorists were forced to retreat into the forest with possible gunshot wounds, while they recovered 2 AK-47 rifles and 104 rounds of live ammunition from the scene. According to him, 2 suspected suppliers of hard drugs to the terrorists identified as Murtala Dahiru from Galadi village in Chinkafi local government area and Sani Mohammed of Talata Mafara local government area, all of Zamfara state, were also arrested. The suspects were arrested in an 18-seater Toyota vehicle conveying a large quantity of dry leaf, suspected to be Indian hemp, from Lagos to be delivered to Kaura Namoda in Zamfara state. The suspect, in the course of interrogation, confessed that the consignment was meant for the terrorists operating in a forest under Shinkafi local government area in the state.
The bandit operating within the territory of Zamfara state. And we all know the negative impact of these drugs, because these bandits, before going on any operations, they must take the drugs, they must take Indian hemp, so as to be intoxicated and become unconscious of whatever they want to do.
The police tactical operatives also arrested 2 suspects for partnering with terrorists to impose levies on Kwaria Tugune and Yamboki villages in Maru and Zurmi local government areas of Zamfara state.
What happened is that on Tuesday, 6 December 2022, about 12:00 hours, police operatives, while on confidence building patrol, received an intelligence report that these suspects were in possession of dried leaf, suspected to be Indian, and it was a large quantity.
The command said all the suspects will be charged to court for prosecution.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says its operatives have arrested 6 persons allegedly involved in currency racketeering in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. The Rivers State NSCDC Commandant Michael Ogat disclosed this while parading the suspect and seized sums of money before journalists in Port Harcourt. The report.
Commandant Oga said the clampdown on the Naira vendors is hinged on the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, Sections 20 and 21, which makes it punishable for anyone or a group of people to hawk, sell, or trade in Naira notes without authorization.
We're parading 6 suspects, currency racketeering. An activities contravene Section 20 and 21 of CBN Acts by selling Naira to Naira. You know, if you go to a bank, you don't get mint. So these people now go to a bank, they get mints, they come out and sell those mints.
Oga, while analyzing other punishable offences under the CBN Act, also said the command and other security agencies would continue to clamp down on perpetrators of the offence and make them face the law. He disclosed that while the point of sale operation is legal, it was against the law for operators to use it as a cover to perpetrate illegality.
It is wrong to buy and sell the Naira. It is wrong to spray Naira during wedding ceremonies, birthday ceremonies, and any other ceremony. It's also wrong to write on the Naira.
Some of the suspects said they were not aware that selling of Naira is prohibited.
I came out to buy water, and I now saw people rushing up and down. I said, what is going on? What is going on? Before you know, one fat woman that I've collected her name from her colleagues just dropped back. And I said, who dropped this bag? Before you know, one policeman just pointed gun to me that, oh yeah, pick your gun. Pick the bag. And you hit my bag. He said, this man, if you don't respect yourself, I will beat you. Other people came to join. I will beat you, and they forced me inside their motor.
So I don't know that using normal Naira to do POS is against the law. Because where I live, where I stayed and do my business, they sell money.
No, I just started last month. Now I started, so I never hear it.
Commandant Oga reaffirmed its commitment to ridding Rivers State of illegal oil bunkering and ensuring safety of critical national assets from economic saboteurs.
Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed says his administration will soon begin to sign death sentence verdicts in the state. He stated this while signing the Violence Against Persons Bill and a bill for the establishment of the State Penal Code 2022 into law. Adamu Imam completes the story.
Crime and criminality are believed to have risen to worrisome level with the advancement in society as technology has enabled criminals to operate crimes in modern ways. This, many believe, has made government at different levels to adopt drastic measures to deal with the rise in crime. For the Bauchi State, government adopting the death penalty option has become inevitable. This decision has been welcomed with excitement as residents told Trust TV.
Actually, if due process is going to be followed, if there is not going to be witch hunt and there is not going to be backbiting and other things, if somebody commits an offense and it has been established in a court of law that this person has committed suicide, definitely he should be eliminated.
For me, if this is not a political statement, this bill or this proposed punishment is okay.
We hope is that those to be executed should be confirmed that they really deserve that punishment. For instance, if you kill, even as a Muslim, according to my religion, whoever kills someone who is innocent should be killed. As far as he did that killing intentionally, deliberately.
Some explain that Nigerian leaders are very good in designing policies and programs, while implementation remains a source of concern. They are hopeful that this will be implemented in order to reduce crime in the state.
And to me, I think it's a good move. It's a very good idea if it can be implemented. Because I think it will serve as a deterrent or a kind of reducing crimes in the state. When people know that judgment are being served, judgment are no more being delayed, judgment are being served, I think it will go a long way in curbing the rate of crime in the state.
While signing other bills into law, Mohammed noted that capital punishment will serve as a deterrent to many, especially those who have made criminality their stock in trade. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now, about 4 persons have been reportedly killed in an early morning shooting on Saturday by some gunmen near the New Market, Enugu. Already, 2 persons have been confirmed dead in the attack by hoodlums enforcing Simon Ekpa's 5-day sit-at-home order. A viral video shows 2 yet-to-be-identified victims lying lifeless in front of the Enugu University Teaching Hospital, Park Lane, where there were heavy shootings in Enugu early Saturday morning as hoodlums enforcing the sit-at-home attacked the New Market area of the Enugu's capital city. Eyewitness accounts say that the gunmen, numbering about over 10, stormed the area as early as 6 a.m. and started shooting to scare people away. A police van was also set ablaze in front of the Colliery Hospital at New Market, while 2 people were shot dead during the invasion. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Pathfinder has arrested over 120 suspected hoodlums allegedly terrorizing residents and the military base in Rumolumeni communities in Obio Akpo local government area. Executive officer of the NNS Pathfinder, Navy Captain Stanley Ume, said the arrest was due to the recent attacks on 2 naval ratings by some members of the communities. The report.
Apart from acts of intimidation by the hoodlums, some of the exhibits recovered during their arrest shows that they have been actively involved in hard drugs and criminality in the area.
Both occupants residents of Rumolumeni community and our own personnel, NN personnel, have been attacked by these hoodlums. In fact, most recently on the 3rd of December, 2 of our ratings went out and they were attacked and they came back to the base with bodily injuries, one on the head, one on the leg, by these hoodlums.
Navy Captain Ume said out of the 124 suspected hoodlums, 27 were released after extensive profiling. He noted that the suspects will be handed over to relevant security agencies for prosecution.
3 shanties were the operation was focused on 3 shanties actually, and then these 3 shanties were striked at the same time simultaneously. These illicit items you see here were gotten from 1 shanty. But in order to ensure that this illicit behavior and drug peddling doesn't continue within the Rumo Olumoni community, we have orders to dislodge all of them from the other 2 shanties as well.
The Navy officer is warning those still involved in illegal activities such as oil theft and other crimes to stop or face the full wrath of the law when apprehended.
Fuel scarcity continues to bite in Kaduna State as hawkers are still selling at higher prices. This is despite the 48 hours ultimatum given by the Department of State Services to NNPC Limited and other oil marketers. Trust TV's Bello Musa reports that many filling stations empty and not dispensing fuel to motorists.
As Nigerians groan daily at filling stations, the stark reality of this predicament is one they cannot fathom. Like a recurrent nightmare, the perennial fuel scarcity has worsened in Kaduna metropolis. Many petrol stations are under lock and key, while the black marketers are having a field day. A litre of petrol in Kaduna sells for about 250 naira to 300, worsening the conditions of cash-strapped residents of Kaduna who are already grappling with high prices of goods and services.
There is no fuel. We are managing to trek. There is no fuel in the filling station. They are empty there. They are empty, so we cannot afford to be paying transport fare.
We are having difficulties in buying petrol, and even if we get it, we often buy it higher than the official rate. We often buy a litre of fuel at the rate of 295 naira and sell it at 350 naira per litre. We sell 4 litres of fuel at 1,500 naira. Some of the black marketers in Kaduna have alleged that the security agencies are arresting them. It is true that DSS are arresting us, and they are collaborating with other security agencies to confiscate our fuel. They urge the government to alleviate their plight. Advising the government to alleviate the plight of Nigerians. Calling on the government to assist us by providing job opportunities for our teeming youth. Despite the 48-hour ultimatum by the DSS, the lingering fuel scarcity still persists across several states of the country. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at bicycle sellers blame high costs on exchange rate. Details of this and more after the break.
Ba a iya sutura da abinci jin daɗin duniyar mu ya ƙare. Za ka iya more rayuwarka da kayan alfarma na kamfanin Vento Furniture kamar su Ladi Corner Sets, Escape Sofa Sets, Acadia Sofa, Piano Sofa Sets, Sofa Corner Sets, Vento Sofa Sets. Sannan kuma za ku iya saka ƙayatattun gadaje na alfarma a ɗakunan kamar su Gold Cream Bedroom Sets, ko kuma ku wadata falonku da kujeru na alfarma irin su Sare Royal Set da Acadia Dining Sets. Ofishoshinku kuwa za ku iya saka manyan kujeru na kece raini domin walwala da jin daɗin ku da abokan hulɗa. Kamfanin Vento Furniture ya tanadar muku gadajen bacci na yara masu inganci, kayan ɗaki irin na angwaye da amare har ma da sarakuna. Muna da shagunan mu a gurare kamar haka: 79 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos; 7A Azikiwe Road, Port Harcourt; 25 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos; Shop U1 Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja; da kuma 4330 Walker Road, Windsor, Ontario ga mazauna ƙasar Canada. Vento Furniture, mun zagaye ko ina.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back from that break. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. PDP presidential candidate whose Abuja indigents pledges to address their issues if elected. Wife of APC presidential candidate takes campaign to Maiduguri. In other news, freedom of speech allows Nigerians to freely express feelings on issues affecting governance, politics, economy, and the like. However, many believe that despite the provision of the Constitution that guaranteed freedom of expression of opinions, Nigerians have no absolute freedom to express themselves concerning governance issues in the country. In this report, respondents call for stiffer penalty for those who hide under freedom of expression to defame other people.
The digital platforms avail people the opportunity to interact with one another, making communication easy. People now express themselves more on social media platforms where they discuss politics, economy, and other social issues in the country. However, some people opine this freedom to express feeling is not absolute and therefore cannot be exercised with reckless abandon.
By freedom of speech, it simply means that one is at liberty to say what he wants to say. He's free to say it. But the question here remains is, do we have that liberty? Is there anything like liberty of speech? Can someone just come out just like that to talk whatever he wants to say?
We find it difficult here to find our liberty or freedom of speech, maybe by writing content or by expressing with your voice or by video, which we have a lot of platforms which utilize or materialize that now. So we don't have freedom of speech, we only have it on paper as stated in the Constitution.
They said in most cases, even the citizens violate their freedom of expression.
A lot of youth now engage in social media, which they feel is a platform that gives them the hope and the opportunity to express every bit of their feelings.
Because, you know, in digital world now, you can sit down at the comfort of your in your room and say whatever you want to say and post whatever you want to say. Like Iran, even here in Africa, like Malawi, you don't just post anything or say anything. You will be sanctioned. So even in Nigeria here, where we have some liberty to talk, to say whatever we want to say, But if you cross the boundary, you will be sanctioned. If you cross the boundary, when you accuse somebody of theft, whereas you don't have evidence, he has not told somebody, when you defame somebody and the rest, the security should arrest you. Why shouldn't they arrest you? That's why I say we should be guided. We should know what we want to say.
A lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Oladipo Tolani, said freedom of speech must be exercised within the confines of the law to avoid damaging other people.
A duty to exercise the right in a manner to ensure that the society is not brought down. When I say brought down, you don't exercise your freedom of speech in such a way that it will inflame passion and destroy the society. You don't exercise your right to destroy the name of the individuals, of individuals. You don't exercise the right in order to ridicule the nation and the court system. In fact, when you look at the proviso to the Constitution, to that section 39, there are reasonable bases. The law says there is nothing that invalidates a law which imposes restriction.
Tolani said freedom of speech is not a guarantee to violate rights of others or ridicule the government.
And the law for criminal defamation does not say unless there is a warrant of arrest before you can be arrested. If I destroy you or deliberately set you on a path of destruction in the society, or ridicule you, or ridicule the nation, or ridicule the judiciary, then we should be arrested as a preventive measure in order to ensure that we do not have problem in the society.
Despite rights given by the Constitution to the citizens to express themselves, exercising such right comes with responsibility. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Now, as the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC prepares to commence its 5-day warning strike on Sunday, December 11th in Plateau State, residents in the state are worried about the negative impact of the proposed action on the state. According to some of the workers and parents, the strike, if eventually embarked upon, will cripple the economic activities and force many into untold hardship in the state. Ado Musa has more.
On December 8th, the state chapter of the NLC, in a letter signed by its chairman and secretary, Eugene Manji and Badung Daliop, an address to the state government, directed all its members to stay at home from December 11 to December 12 as a warning strike. According to the workers, the strike became necessary following government's failure to fulfill its promise to address issues around outstanding salaries and irregularity in computation of salaries, refusal to release salary structures, promotions, and annual increments. Some of the workers and resident injured told Trust TV how the warning strike may affect social and economic activities in the state.
But strike, even if it is hours, it is very, very negative on the side of the economy, on the side of people's social lives and the rest of them. So the demands are there, particularly on the issue of salaries. So civil servants have not been paid for some months, some 2 months, some 3 months, some 4 months, and so on and so forth. So I think government have tried to stop the strike, but has reached this stage. So there's no government that would like the strike to be to start.
NLC will go on strike. I think the government or the business people will have problems, and most of us in Plateau State will depend on our salary because we don't have business, because we depend on government.
Everything in Plateau State is not moving all right. It's not even moving right because we are suffering because of salary issues, all this strike.
The residents, however, call on the government to settle their differences with the NLC to avoid the strike, as such action will not go down well with the state.
The government still have a room to also dialogue and to also appeal to the NLC officials and to also do the needful by paying the salaries. So in order to avoid, since the inception of this government, there have never been strike. So and the government is coming to an end, and this strike will go a long way in tarnishing and denting the image of this government.
Settle with this NLC before the date that they are fixed for their strike. because it will not be good, especially in this Christmas period.
When contacted, the State Commissioner of Information and Communication, Dan Manjang, reacting to the development, said government was doing everything possible to avoid the strike, adding that they were making effort to pay the outstanding salaries. The commissioner, however, called on the angry workers to cancel the proposed warning strike, as both government and the labor union have never had issues in the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Bicycle is considered the cheapest means of movement because it does not require fuel to move. But in recent times, there have been a hike in its price in Nigeria, particularly in Abuja, making it out of reach for many. In this report, Noel Samson gets to look at the reason behind the hike in price and why customers still go for them despite the price.
Bicycle is also called two-wheeled steerable machine that is paddled by its rider's feet. German inventor Karl van Dries is credited with developing the first bicycle. His machine, known as the Swift Walker, hit the road in 1817. The importance of bicycle cannot be overemphasized. It can be used as a form of transportation and also for exercise. But in Abuja, the price of bicycle can go as high as 100,000, and clearly this is beyond the reach of many people.
People tend to start using bicycle to ease the movement. Aside from that, there's a lot of people also that are using bicycles for exercise, at least especially for the adults. When they get to the hospital, they ask them to do exercising. The increase in the price of bicycle, although not all the bicycles are quite expensive, there are some that are still on the average. Although, the issue of exchange rate is part of what is causing it.
But despite its increase in price, some customers still deem it fit to still go get them for their own different reasons.
Bicycles, number one, they are fun. They are a good source of exercise. And to me, riding a bicycle is a skill. For the fuel scarcity, I think the bike is the best subsidy for it. Like, you don't have fuel, you can ride on your bike to wherever you're going. Even abroad, people ride bike all the time. Now that everywhere is fuel scarcity, you don't want to go and waste your time 10 hours on the queue. Sometimes you have to be very careful, but it's safe when you know where you're going to. Don't ride it too far, don't go to the unsafe routes. Always go to the safe routes because of the security condition, of course. You have to be security conscious.
Basically, it's not because of the fuel issue. I think it's because of exercise for adults. Key, these days so many people are health conscious now, and then they realize that biking is a very good activity to keep fit, to lose weight, to check general body, to maintain general body systems against any kind of high sugar levels, blood pressures. So it's not about the fuel hikes.
Biking isn't just good for physical health, it is good for mental health as well. Plus, cycling is the most suitable mode of transportation for short and medium trip distances in urban cities. The question, however, is it safe to ride bike in Abuja, where chaotic vehicular traffic is a common feature? Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
All right, now we'll take a short breather, and then when we return, the news hour continues. Join us again.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Really, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. It's now time for us to join Chiamaka Nwafo for Business Update.
Nigeria's debt stock rose to 44.06 trillion naira in September of 2022 from 42.84 trillion naira in June, according to new data from Debt Management Office, DMO. The total debt stock comprises total domestic and external debt stock of the federal government, state government, and the Federal Capital Territory. Africa's biggest economy has seen its debt rise by 4.5 trillion naira this year from 39.56 trillion naira at the end of last year. The total domestic stock stood at 26.92 trillion naira, while the external stock was 17.15 trillion naira as of September 2022. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the disbursement of Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund (CVFF) with immediate effect. The Minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambo, disclosed this during the flag-off ceremony of the Batch B of the third phase of Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, Terra 11, in Lagos on Saturday. Sambo noted that the agency had pledged to the President that he would allow the funds to go into Treasury single account. However, the President said whenever the money hit the threshold of $50 million, the CBN, upon recommendation from NIMASA and the Federal Ministry of Transportation, would inspect the transfer of the funds to the primary lending institutions. And finally, in stocks, a total turnover of 1.225 billion shares worth 15.234 billion naira in 15,317 deals was traded this week by investors on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The financial services industry, measured by volume, led the activity chart with 514.067 million shares valued at 5.104 billion naira traded in 6,489 deals. The construction and real estate industry, as well as the conglomerates industry, were second and third respectively. The NGX All-Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 1.51% to close the week at 48,881.93 points and 26.625 trillion naira respectively. 31 equities appreciated in price during the week, with 26 others depreciating, while 100 equities remained unchanged. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
Now, away from Nigeria, United States authorities on Friday announced that they are imposing sanctions against Guinea's former leader, Alpha Condé. The sanctions are related to violence against opponents before his ouster in a coup in 2021. The former Guinean leader will have his U.S. assets frozen, while all transactions involving him will also be criminalized. Condé became the first democratically elected president of Guinea in 2010, but after 2 terms was accused of rising authoritarianism, culminating in a bloody crackdown against protesters in 2020. According to the U.S. Treasury Department, Alpha Condé, who is also 84 years old, was engaged in serious human rights abuse. President Joe Biden will next week announce U.S. support for the African Union's admission to the G20 group of the world's largest economies as a permanent member, a White House official said on Friday. Biden will make the announcement during the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington next week, when he will meet presidents of African countries. White House advisor Jude Devonmont said that the move, first reported by the Washington Post, comes after requests from African Union Chair and Senegalese President Macky Sall and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. South Africa is the only G20 member from Africa. The AU is made up of 55 member states. The United States released a new strategy document for sub-Saharan Africa in August, stressing the region's importance, the threats posed by China and Russia, and vowing to extend defense cooperation with like-minded African countries. And in sports news, Morocco became the first African nation to reach the World Cup semi-finals as Youssef En-Nesyri's first half goal sealed a tense 1-0 victory over Portugal on Saturday at Al Tumama Stadium. The Atlas Lions, also the first Arab team to make the last four, added Portugal to their list of European scalps with a resolute second-half performance. Cristiano Ronaldo has likely played his last World Cup match after making an ineffectual appearance as a second-half substitute, failing to score his first knockout phase goal at the tournament. Morocco took a 42nd minute lead through En-Nesyri's header as they came on strongly late in the first period. Portugal piled on the pressure after the break, but an injury hit Morocco without three of their four first-choice defenders after skipper Romain Saez was forced off hung and on despite being reduced to 10 men in added time. Operators of football viewing centers in Bauchi State say that absence of Nigeria's Super Eagles at the ongoing World Cup Qatar 2022 is painful and a setback for their business. Adamu Imam files in this report.
Bauchi State is one of the places where football viewing centers are flourishing, especially during UEFA Champions League and other European competitions among football enthusiasm. Abdullahi Shaibu is an operator who explained how they're struggling to earn a living within the period of Qatar 2022 World Cup.
There is no people because Nigeria is not involved in the World Cup. So even in the Africa, there's no challenge in football now because we lose Nigeria for qualifying. So even in the view center here, you can see it's just a minute to start, about to start the match. And nobody.
Omar Ori says football is a competition that brought excitement to supporters, but with the Super Eagles' absence at the Qatar 2022, viewing centers remain deserted. One of the major challenges here is that we paid much of electricity bill due to debts we met. We used to pay higher than expected, and we use big generator. We cannot continue buying costly fuel to operate the center. That is no guarantee of customers. And we gain only during night matches. When our customers return from work, they patronize the center. But this World Cup, with no Nigeria, the market is nothing to write home about. Meanwhile, a football analyst in Bauchi says some centers within the state capital are likely to be discouraged them from the business.
You know, football is one of the game or is one of the things that unite us here in Nigeria. So definitely the viewing center will always complain because without Nigeria, so many people will not even have interest in the World Cup, even though it is World Cup.
He maintained that despite the challenges, viewing centers can be regulated because the excitement attached to football games.
In the sense that there should be a law governing them. You understand? In some viewing center that I used to know, if you are not up to 18 years, you will not be allowed to even enter the viewing center. And at the same time, again, they can be regulated in the sense that they shouldn't allow people entering there with drugs or even smoking or what have you.
The operators hope that soon they will regain more patronage after the Qatar 2022 World Cup, when action in other leagues across the globe resumed. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Let's now take some more sports updates as presented by Adeni Ajishafe.
A golf kitty to mark the beginning of advancing African through female leadership and gender integration meeting of the Elite Women Network International has teed off. The meet is to use sport as a medium to advocate for women involvement in organization, development and other initiatives that encourage women in all facets of life, while calling for more opportunities to be given to women to add value to the development of the nation. The group believes sport is one of the tools to use in achieving such goals. Founder, Elite Women, Charlie Hill said the aim of the Golf Kitty Call is not to compete with men, but to call for recognition and active involvement of women in leadership roles, while still savoring lovely moments through sport.
For today, we are here to enjoy ourselves at this Golf Kitty, flex our muscles. This is already a pre-planned event. And it's also a call to women out there to embrace golfing, right? To embrace golfing as a sport, as a game, you know, for fun, for social activities. This is one of the ways we, meet up to enjoy ourselves and to keep fit.
National Coordinator, Programs and Projects, Elite Women Network International, Peace Williams, says the aim of the gathering is to create awareness through sport in order to help transform Africa through women leadership and integration.
We're having the maiden edition of our Women for Transformation Conference, and the theme is very apt: Advancing Africa through female leadership and integration.
At the teeing off of the Golf Kitty, Transformers Golf Club captain Joe Onus displayed why he is a club captain as he hit a perfect one at the tee-off, while Lady Charlie Hills followed suit before going to the green for a putt. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And that wraps up the news hour for tonight. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.